Lulu. About to talk into this void again. We're gonna have to make some more improvements to this channel or something. Starting to lose interest in it. And that's the crazy thing about working as a YouTuber. But it's the crazy thing about working at a regular job as well. It's like you have to ask yourself, does it have an end? Most jobs work you like you're going to be there for the rest of your life. But you know that's not the case. The recruiters, the interviewers, they know that can't be the case. At least not now, not in this economy, where people are getting laid off left and right just because, the checkbook can't handle it. The business can't be profitable if people are working there, humans are working there, as labor of some sort. It's the season. It is the season. It's getting there. Community just started putting up their Christmas lights. And it's getting pretty cozy, actually. I always wait and think back to times like this, around this time of year, where it's the feeling. It's a feeling that's always cast over this time of year that makes it just nice to come outside. That's the whole reason I created this mobile recording device. But it's a Monday, and if you can hear in the background, things are pretty active. It's trains, planes, automobiles, and it's not active for me. It's not active for what I do for a living. And that is get up at 4 in the morning and then go sit in a crowded room and hope my name gets called for work, which today didn't go over so well. I got called to do the thing I hate to do, but I wanted some transaction to happen and not just show up for no reason and waste my gas. I went flagging or traffic directing or whatever you want to call it. You hold the stop sign up in the middle of the road, hope nobody runs you over, and you're talking to a walkie-talkie to the other person and hope they don't send cars down the line before you do as a mistake and have cars run into each other, and then you get let go from your job, or at least get a big old slap of "don't come back because we don't need you here because you messed up." So it is the season, and that job got canceled. I'm told that it's because the city is not issuing permits, or the city and all the construction sites and everything want to wrap things up for the end of the year. And if you've been around any construction labor, that's just typical of what happens at the end of the year. Now, back to point number one, they make it seem like you're going to be working 24/7, 7 days a week, until it comes around this time and the regulators kick in, the money kicks in, and all the party halts. It stops. What I was hoping to happen is to move towards a security job or get any feedback on that. I applied to a few And even though I'm qualified, I haven't heard a peep from these people. I haven't heard a thing. It's mostly just scammers and whatnot. Leaving messages on my phone. They probably sold my data, and I'm gonna have to look into that now. More of my time wasted because this is all it's all a lie. It's all a lie. The whole system is collapsing, and we're trying our best to pretend like, you know, everything's okay, or we'll manage through this, or at the very least, you won't end up homeless living in your car. But that's not the case for most people. When the reality sets in that no matter how hard you work in this system, you're not going to get ahead. You'll realize that the people, they're not coming over here anymore. The immigrants, they're glad to stay where they're at, because on a certain level, they've done what they need to do, which is suck the United States dry of all its, well, of the little cut of the currency they needed to live like kings in their country, or at least get by for a while the United States tries to recover. But it doesn't look like there's going to be a recovery. There are corporations out there that are stressing over just paying their workers not even a living wage for California. $20 an hour for fast food, that's not going to get you much in California. And the price is only going to continue to go up. But we can't, I don't know how people can continue doing this when they can't even live, basically. There's can't rent a room. You got to choose between renting a room and eating, and in no way in that equation, splitting up that $20 an hour, will you ever have a vehicle to actually drive to work. Because for whatever reason, an employer can only hire you if they're in the next borough or technically annex of the city over. Like, you may live in San Francisco, but your job is in San Jose, and good luck getting there with public transportation. It's not happening. That to be an example of what I mean. So, what are we to do? If you can't gather enough money as a proletariat, faster than the bills come, faster than everybody else that has their hands out, charging more to pull more money, more currency from you. What happens when that stone you're bleeding finally bleeds dry? I don't know, but Oprah knows. Because for the longest time, Oprah could give out free cars to the point where it was a meme. And I begrudgingly grew up watching Oprah. I didn't know Oprah. I did my 5 minutes of research. I didn't know Oprah started in 1986. I I had no clue she was that old. And she was old, but ease. And the whole giving away a car thing, so far as my research says, what I've read, was a ploy to prop up General Motors, as well as it wasn't really free. You still have to pay a $7,000 gift tax if you chose to receive that car. And it wasn't a luxurious car; it was a G6, so whatever, right? Eric could take the Pontiac G6, whatever. But Oprah, it's time for some controversy. Oprah is nothing special. Oprah sold not only her soul to get where she is, because there's no way she's gotten to where she is unless she had, like, I don't know, very well connected parents, which it seems like she has some connections, at least to GM, and you know GM is just government motors. So the GM doesn't stand for General Motors, it's government motors. And it seems like she has some connections there. But shorter than other than that, she had to sell her soul and a couple of other souls and sold out the rest of the black community to get where she is. As I could never figure out as a kid watching her, how could she give away free cars? Why is she popular? She's just talking to people on the show. Why were talk shows so popular? Why was Montel Williams popular? Why was Maury Povich and everybody else that came after this, that was the third wave of talk show hosts, why are they popular? Well, we know why they're popular. Because Jerry Springer paved the way. Because I'm trying to think of the was Jenny. There's a Jenny something, maybe. I'm trying to think. It was Jenny something. Okay, no, not that one. Jenny. All these people, they paved the way for talk shows where people just go and goof around, I guess. And we have talk shows today, they're on YouTube. And they're popular, but more of a flash in the pan these days. Like the whatever show. But we can see why those are popular. You know, hot women come on and guys want to see, and the women want to gossip. That's why people watch. But why was Oprah popular? Was it all a tax write-off? Or was it because it was the only thing to watch on TV sometimes for the boomer generation? Because once again, I begrudgingly watched it because it was the only thing my grandparents watched on TV after the spaghetti westerns had went off. And still sitting there as a kid, like, how was this even the thing? How could you let people just goofing off and talking make such a living that they can give away free cars and run a studio or rent out a studio or whatever have you? It still makes no sense to me today. Like, there's no tangible value to it. Like, you're not making the cars, you're not building houses, you're just a talk show host. It's the same as, like, it's even less, I would say, on the lower tier than newscasters. And we see what happened to the newscasters. They're getting destroyed now. I guess Oprah's not in the game, and nobody really talks about Dr. Phil or any of these newer third-gen talk show hosts, but it just boggled my mind on how Oprah, shorter than just having some really deep connections to people that you don't want to be around, let's put it that way, that she would have the popularity and money she has. Maybe she had some mafia dirt, I don't know. But what I wanted to talk about, Oprah was the arbiter of the selling out of the black people. Now, the color purple, spinning a handmaid's tale of how black women were abused, was just digested and eaten up by all the people that would normally get on her show, that she would speak nice words into their ears and they would respond with emotions of empathy, understanding, and other things, other emotions that I don't have the words for. Something touchy-feely, something blah blah blah. But still wouldn't add up to her being a multi-billionaire. And for the longest time, the opinion of Oprah was the opinion of the black community. Even though, once again, this woman never really spoke for the black community as a whole. Just the people that pretended to hold the power by being the loudest. And the last I heard of Oprah, and why I'm talking about her, is because she came up with Scott Galllway, who we talked about previously. It's the only reason I'm mentioning Oprah, because Oprah has crawled out of her cave in Hawaii, which is the last thing I heard. Her Hawaii mansions somehow didn't burn down with everything else, and you probably notice how the media just stopped talking about how everything burned on a certain island, Hawaii, and how only certain things burned, like cars, but for some reason the trees next to cars weren't burning. Yeah, weird, right? And I guess to cap this off, I don't understand Oprah. I don't understand the popularity. I don't know how she was around for so long. And that's probably the most controversial part of it, is I don't jive with her. I can say I don't like her, but I'm nothing her. It's just another figurehead that just happens to speak the loudest and have a lot of money from selling her soul to the cabal, or whatever that means. So, if you guys have any dirt on Oprah, you guys like being contrarians, you want to see the new Oprah, which I don't know who could ever take Oprah's place at this point. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and I'll see you in this void again while I just yap for the AI to collect data points.